Come December of this year, the Doom series will be 30 years old, and thankfully back in 2019, the 1993 original game was brought to the Switch. So here we are with a computer first-person shooter classic. It's the original Doom for the Nintendo Switch. Set in the future, you play the nameless protagonist who would soon be named Doom Guy by the fans. After his entire team is wiped out by demons on Mars, Doom Guy becomes the sole survivor tasked with wiping out the demonic threat using as many weapons as he can get his hands on. There's a bit more backstory to it, but like with a lot of other older games, Doom throws you right into the action as that's the most important part. All you really need to know is that you're on another planet full of demons that possess humans, and you've got to travel from base to base slaughtering them all. Now remember that true 3D graphics weren't perfected until the N64 came out in 1996, so games in the early 90s that were attempting a 3D look came out looking like someone threw you inside the TV while you were playing an SNES game. Looking at this game through the lenses of 1993 tech, this was impressive work by id Software. They created some good 3D environments for you to run around and shoot demons in, even if it's all very pixelated. The characters you fight are all 2D models, but they move in a way to give the impression of 3D. As in they show different sides of themselves as they move around. You really just notice that it's all optical illusion when you pay close attention to the camera movement versus how an NPC or object moves. Like here, the tree looks exactly the same as I walk around it. There's a lot like this in the original game, but it's a bunch of advanced tricks to get around the graphical limitations of the early 90s tech. But what cracks me up is that face you see at the bottom center as you're playing. It's supposed to be Doom Guy, but look at how he keeps shifting his eyes and doing that evil smile when he kills a demon. The sound design is very reflective of the game's time too. The sound effects and music sound kind of bit crushed. Also, voice acting is limited to sounds of the demons snarling and groaning as they die. But music is at least fast-paced and exciting to go with the action-focused tone of the game, plus the sound design is very good for the weapons. It builds a solid foundation for what would eventually lead to the really good 2016 Doom reboot. When this game arrived on the scene 30 years ago, it came right out of the gate with a wide variety of demons for you to kill.
You one ugly motherfucker.
Each with different attacks, strengths, and weaknesses. The amount of demons in each area also varies to keep things mixed up and less predictable. While I did like the wide variety of demons with their different designs and attacks, I gotta say I hated those floating fire skull creatures. They took health so fast because they love to get right in your face, which really becomes a problem when using your rocket launcher. To kill these demons, you're given a wide selection of guns to use, a dream come true for FPS fans. You start with a pistol and shotgun, but soon you get a chain gun, rocket launcher, different kinds of lasers, including the introduction of the BFG, and my personal favorite, the chainsaw. Whether you want to blow demons to pieces with lasers or chop them up like your name is Ash Williams, Doom's got you covered. While running around shooting though, you're also picking up a bunch of items like health, ammo, armor, and bonus power-ups. For the more difficult levels especially, you want to thoroughly explore your surroundings to find all these items that give you a better chance against these demon hordes. So even in 1993, developers were trying to avoid bland, boring, linear corridor shooters. At least the people making this game were trying to avoid that. Really, this early 90s PC shooter built upon the genre that Wolfenstein 3D had started. Doom laid down the groundwork for single-player campaigns and first-person shooters that would follow with the premise of shooting lots of bad guys while exploring levels to find keys to open doors in order to progress. The premise that continued to be used through GameCube shooters like Timesplitters 2. So thorough exploration becomes almost as important as skilled shooting here. For exploring, you can access the map at any time with the X button to find your way around, but oftentimes it can get confusing. Mainly with this design that doesn't account for temporary obstacles or higher platforms. It's also how small everything looks, especially when you're playing in handheld mode. But that's just one way you're constantly reminded that this is an old school shooter using very old school mechanics. Because in addition to that, you can't jump. So you have to clear gaps by running between platforms if the distance isn't too far. But a bigger issue than that is that you can't aim up or down. Even in the Switch version, you can only aim side to side. The game compensates by having shots land on foes above or below you as long as they're on the same vertical line as where you're aiming. I guess that's fine, and maybe it's unfair of me to judge the aiming through a 21st century lens, but it still felt weird to me. I think especially for younger players who have never played this, it's a fair thing to point out. This won't have the modern mechanics that you're used to. That aside, there is plenty of bloody fun to be found here with the aspects I already covered. Depending on your skill, each level will take anywhere from 2 minutes to 15 minutes to beat, and that's really just if you're having trouble finding all the keys or you keep getting killed. Regardless, there is a lot of levels here with different designs to give the game good pacing and level variety. What's also good is that there's a level selection menu from the very second you start up the game. You don't have to play through every level if you don't want to, so the game stays focused on quick bursts of violent fun, which works great on a handheld system. Later releases of this classic shooter included 4-person multiplayer, so the Switch release has that too in split-screen form. Up to 4 players can play through the entire campaign cooperatively on the Switch. It's a great way for you and 3 of your friends to experience the over-the-top retro carnage of this game. Or you can all shoot each other in the competitive deathmatch multiplayer. The amount of maps to kill each other on is small, but you use all the same weapons from the campaign. That all makes for fun multiplayer mayhem with friends in the same room, just like the old days. Unfortunately, even though this is on a modern system, you can't play the multiplayer online, and there are no bots included like Duke Nukem 3D. So if there's only one controller on, you're not playing multiplayer. It's disappointing, but the core of the game is still good enough that you'll enjoy this game alone or with friends. On the eShop, this classic is available for just $5, but often I've seen it go on sale for as low as $2. Either price is really good for it given its outdated aspects versus its historical significance. It's a game to play if you really want very old school FPS action on the go. Well, that's my review of the original Doom for the Nintendo Switch. To help me produce more videos like this, please support my Patreon page. Special thanks to my current patrons here. Remember that supporting my Patreon gets your name in the credits and access to my flagship videos a full day early. Also be sure to check out my previous reviews of these other Doom games on the Switch, Doom 3 and the 2016 Doom Reboot. See you all next time!